All right, let's also bring in a parent who was at a protest today. I have with me David Todor. He's a father who spoke at the protest in Kitchener, Ontario today. David, thanks for joining us. Let me begin by asking you, why was it important for you to be at the protest today?
Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for having me. I think it's very important because parents are extremely concerned with what's happening in the schools today, with the sexualization and the indoctrination and the secrets that are being kept from parents. And these items are very serious and very concerning to parents. And a lot of parents came out because they feel the same way.
You heard the minister speak with me just a few moments ago, and I know that you were connected and you were listening to her as well. What are your remarks or your thoughts about what the minister had to tell us on this issue?
I think these are all nice words, and I do believe these kids are vulnerable, and I'm wondering why we are taking advantage of the vulnerable kids. I mean, this ideology really, from the ground up, teaches that these kids can be born into the wrong body, and it pushes them to social transition at school and pushes them down a path of medical identity, sterilization, mutilation. And all of this is done, like I said, with procedures that are passed by the school boards to keep this social transition process a secret.
David, you used a very strong word, indoctrination. What proof do you have as a parent that there is indoctrination taking place in schools?
I mean, everywhere you look, there's proof of this. Even the unions are rallying behind for a counter protest. The message is clear that they put out over there, and anybody that does not agree with the narrative is basically being labeled as hateful. The indoctrination part is there are some things that they're teaching kids as well that are really not based in reality. It's really as simple
Like
as
what?
being a man.
David,
Being
if
as
I may,
simple as
yes. Like what is not
man,
based in reality?
man and a woman. These are biological truths, scientific truths, and I'm having a problem if leaders can't tell the difference between men and women, but they really want us to trust their leadership. Uh, this is not very appealing.
But David, a larger question that, of course, the minister was also talking about is man and women, yes, but there are other people, other community members as well. And that's why we have LGBTQ2S plus I that need the safety and security of the country, rules and regulations to protect them because they are vulnerable. What would you say to that? Because that goes beyond a man and a woman.
To that, I say, absolutely, we do need to protect them. But the way to protect these kids is not to drive a wedge between the parents and the kids. The parents need to be involved in the decisions. And right now, the school boards are not being very open and transparent with what is happening and what these kids are learning, and the material that these kids are presented as well. The books that the minister was talking about, these are not self-help books. I've seen these books, they're pornographic. They have very disturbing material. I've done some delegations as well. These books contain pedophilia and incest and rape and stuff like that. And I'm wondering, why do these kids, if they are vulnerable kids, why do they need to be exposed to this material? And why are they being pushed down this affirmation road, which will result into sterilization?
You know, David, you've used some very, very strong terms once again. And what is in those books, and many will dispute with you and disagree with what you're saying. But let me ask you this in terms of a solution. Now, we have two provinces in the country, such as Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, that have renewed their gender policy, as you'd be aware, of how kids under 16, it is important for their parents to be informed, and parental consent is necessary if they want to change how they are addressed in school and their gender identity. Are you okay with that sort of a policy change? Or what is it that you really want as a parent?
Absolutely. First of all, parents need to be involved in what's happening, and there can't be procedures in the school that say otherwise. And second of all, I know you're saying I'm using strong words, but I highly encourage the parents to have a look at these books. These are strong words because what is in these books are very concerning as well. And there's no other word to use but these strong words. And I've read from these books out loud, and these books exist, and it's not something out of the ordinary, and it is in the school system, and they are accessible to minors. And I think parents need to be aware, and parents need to have a say in the type of books that are being presented to the kids. Like I said, these are not self-help books.
David, may I ask you a question? As a father, would you support if your children came out in support of LGBTQ2S plus community? Would you support them if they did?
I don't think this has anything to do with the LGBT community. This really has to do with parents being part of the conversation. I know a lot of people in the community, and
I'll
I've
tell you
spoken
why
to
I
them
asked you that
before.
question, David. I'll tell you why. If kids are not made sensitive about this issue, if there is not education and awareness about this issue, how do you expect them to come out in support of the community if they're not even aware about it?
Well, it's kind of absurd to me that you're telling me they're not aware about it when everything is LGBTQ everywhere you go and the sidewalks are painted with the flags. This is not an LGBTQ awareness issue. This issue is about parents not being involved and the school having sexual conversations with minors, presenting them with sexual material, and socially transitioning the kids, all without the parents' knowledge and consent.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for now, but we appreciate you having this very candid and open discussion with us on CTV News Channel. David Todor, parent from Kitchener, Ontario. Once again, thank you for joining us.